the people, let's say, causing a situation like this, as you mentioned, like this dirty pool, or or like the pollution or the violation of the land, the intrusion in the land, all this, let's say, kitsch aesthetic. Actually, the same people are the ones who need to tolerate this situation the rest 8-9 months of the year, because the touristic period lasts for 3-4 months. The high season is August, after September. And I always, I was wondering, okay, you do something that you need to suffer like the 60% of your lifetime, So that's very, from the sociology side of things, that's really, really interesting,
That's what you're looking at.
And of course, with you as
it's that 66. Yeah. It's that off season. It's that what becomes of these playgrounds when
exactly. Perfect. So the Paradise Scene, let's say, it's my very first long-term project. It lasted from 2012 until 2016. I want to put a disclaimer here. I never consider any of my projects done. I keep work. I like putting, some full stops, or let's say make some pauses. But as I explained to you, it's based on memories, experiences, and this, it's not something that you just erase, So even if okay, for example, a full stop for this project, I need to put a full stop and move on, was the publication of the book. I will talk about it. But so this project, let's say the main body of work that I will show here, has been produced between 2012 and 2016, I think, in total 5 years. That's on average, I would say, the average time frame that I work for a project. 3, 4, 5, 6 years, cannot be less than 3 years, because there is a lot of thinking behind it. There is research, and somehow I think there are moments that you start from A, and at some point you need to pivot and go to C or to E or to the branch, So, but there's always an initial idea behind every series, and of course this evolves as long as the projects, the production progresses. So about Paradise Scene, precisely, it originates from my childhood memories. As I said at the beginning, I grew up in Crete, one of the most touristic places in Europe. It's a very popular destination especially for Northern European people, like Germans, Dutch people, British, Irish, Scandinavians. So I grew up in a fish village called Agia Pelagia, and I experienced the whole transformation of this place from a humble village to a resort, let's say a large amusement park, just for pleasing the people coming from foreign countries as tourists, to like to experience, to live the Greek myth, let's say. So, and the title of paradise scene. When I was like 11, 12 years old, I started going out with my elder cousins, and there was a disco in the middle of the village on the beach called Paradise, and that was, let's say, the place to be of this this period. And let's say I stole the title from this disco, because also many of those photos have been shot there and around the area in Agia Pelagia. Of course, it's not limited there. It's widespread. The project has been shot between Crete and Chalkidiki, which is another very popular touristic destination, mostly for Balkan people in northern Greece. I need to travel a lot because I was living in Thessaloniki. So I used to travel back in my birthplace in Crete or in Chalkidiki to produce this series. So this project deals with the mass tourism and the impact on, let's say, on the place of my childhood memories mostly. How it impacts, how it influences the identity, the land, the intrusion in the land, the environment, the people, the economic growth, the society, the falsification of the symbols, So this is mostly about. I don't know if you have any questions about that, or otherwise.
One of the. Let's start taking a look. But it's also interesting that you talk about. It's just kind of a village. It was in a fishing village, and then you kind of witnessed it change, and you started to. I can imagine too that you start seeing these signs go up, and they're in a different language. They're like Star Beach. It's English, and
always. That's the most popular place. If you're a British, you must be there. It's in here.
And then it's just striking. You're like, I see in one of the later images, I see this sign that says snack bar, and I'm like, but you're in Greece, like. What is it? So I bet that's fascinating to watch and to evolve. So take us through a couple of them, and let's take a look.
Yeah. So, for example, Star Beach is one of the most popular, let's say, amusement parks in Herzonissos, in one of the popular places of Crete. And I have shot this specific point. I went there like in total 5 times. So I have this photo with different symbols and typography in 3-4 different photos. I think I have more Star Beach in this selection. Yeah, that photo. I like this photo. I found this cocktail, which is called, it's like very 80s, 90s cocktail. They used to call it like, they sell it like Blue Lagoon, which is like, it reminds like Iceland, but then there's the Finnish flag, and it was very interesting the fact that I shot this photo in the summer, that there was like crucial these Eurogroup meetings about kicking Greece out of European Union, or let's keep Greece in European Union. And I remember vividly that Finland was like really strong place. Okay, let's kick them out. And I found this. I think this is the flag of Finland. And that was I don't know. It was like a coincidence, but it was really, really interesting. I like it. I also like this.
Here's the irony. Yeah.
And also I love this
irony
plastic,
right in your face, right here. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's a plastic glass. It keeps them, getting drunk down there. They want plastic, so.
And also these
fascinating,
like the Little Mermaid and And I remember when I was like a kid, when I was like 5, 6 years old, every morning in the summer, I was going on the beach, digging the sand to find plastic mermaids and plastic monkeys that were, they have thrown them away from the cocktails they were holding and dancing on the beach. So as a kid, I was collecting from the sand plastic mermaids and monkeys. So, yeah. That's another photo I really love. I have one photo of mine in my house in the Netherlands, and it's this one. I love it. It's very simple, but I like the colors. I like
one photo out of all the things you've done. The one photo is this one.
I don't like my artwork in my home. I like having from
I have all my stuff everywhere.
I don't know. I could give you one of mine, so you have also one of mine. But
well, that'd be great. Thank you. What an honor. But why this one? Why? Tell me. Yeah.
I like, first of all, I like the colors. For me, Greek summer is always, a very strong memory is the watermelon, this deep red watermelon, and also these blue tiles, the bottom of the pool. It just brings memories, I don't know. I just like it. I cannot really explain it. Technically, it's a bad photo. It's not, let's say, it's not the perspective I used to take, but somehow, it's. I feel it very, very close to myself.
Well, you're reflecting on you're reflecting on something that's really interesting. A changing town around you, this separateness, and what's interesting is, yes, technically, it might not be executed 100% the best, but it actually carries a kind of a metaphor with it. You're flipping the foreground. A lot of times the background is the brightest, and you're more exposed, and there's a most touristy photos are during the sunshine too, and this looks like it's taken at night. And so you're like literally flipping this on us. And not only with the image itself, the way it was shot, but also taking them at night, not necessarily at the things that people would want to take a photo of at night. Usually you want those lights at the bar, or the city,
I always like moving and shooting in the background. So let's say when there is a party, a beach party, I'm always behind the party, or I'm going after the party. So, for example, this photo is right after the party. Or if I go back to this very first photo of Star Beach, everyone thinks that this is snow, but actually it's a foam that left after a crazy foam party. So I was expecting maybe, I think for this photo, a couple of hours. I was strolling around, waiting for people to go away, drunk people to go and sleep. So I just wanted. Exactly.
I was going to ask you. So I was like, that looks like snow, but it doesn't look like snow either.
No, it's a foam. Also,
because
watermelon. I was waiting, I think, 3-4 minutes. The watermelon was moving slowly to come, at this point. So I had the composition I wanted. So just static, patient, waiting for the watermelon to move from the low stream, of the pool.
Yeah. Yeah, take us through. Keep taking us through. These are great.
Yeah. That's another photo that I like the irony here. In I think it's a 4-star hotel in the same Fish Village. like first of all, those statues are not even Greek. I think they're Roman. I think this curly hair is definitely not Greek. Huh? You can see also I'm almost bald. So the Romans have curly hair. They have nice hair. Okay, they have nice hair.
Yeah.
Okay, but also the how do you call that? The sweep?
It is. It's the pan. It's like you have a broom and then the pan, but this is
yeah, like the broom. Yeah, exactly. So I found this very very interesting, and that's one of the photos that are one of the very last that I shot for the project. Here's bar. This is literally in the middle of nowhere. So there's only like a bar, which let's say it's not the most fascinating place to be. You can also see, the aesthetic of the sign. It's also, reflects the aesthetic of the bar. So I think this describes a lot Greece, especially back in 90s. Like, okay, I will do something. I don't care if it's, if it looks ugly, or I'm not gonna spend the money. I will just buy. I found this sign. I will buy a marker and some paint, and I will do this. That's somehow reflects the mentality of Greek people, especially back in 90s. So
honestly, that's the kind of place I would go. I would go check it out.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of fascinating.
It's interesting. I also like this kind of underground. Let's call them places for outcasts. Or
yeah. We God, what do we call them? Hole in the walls. That's what we call them. Hole in the wall bars.
Yeah.
Out in the country, that's what we would say. But dive bars is the other word. Yeah, I think that's the other one.
Yeah. This is one of my favorites. One of
same. When I saw this one, I loved the mirror effect in the water, and then the green that mirrors the green above from the landscape. I was just this one. To me, I was, out of the series, this one was magic to me. If one were to show up in the mail, if one were to show up in the mail, this would be the one. But I'm. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. What were you looking at here?
Look here. That's very strange. This is one. I don't know why, but it's one of my best setting. Let's say maybe it's also more that can be digested more easily. I don't know. It's beautiful. Huh? It's not just interesting. It's also beautiful. The colors and the forms. But here I'm in another touristic area in Crete near Heraklion. It's very nearby the village, which is full of hotels. I always I was shooting mostly out of season, so this is before the maintenance and the opening of the hotels for the summer season. And it's one of the pictures that you just violate the entrance of a hotel. You just go in, you see, okay, you stand in front of this composition. You make a shot and you leave, and you have one good photo, and it's. I think it's that's very important. That also reflects the way I photograph, especially when I was using my Mamiya 7. I was shooting until very recently. I was shooting with Mamiya 7 6x7 format, medium format.
Yeah.
Like this monster with a tripod, blah blah blah. So yeah, you go there, you make a shot. You have only 12 shots in the roll of the film. You make one shot, you know what you get, and then you go back and you say okay. And
So
you go back, you try to sleep, but you cannot sleep because okay, I have this photo in my mind. It's still in the film. I haven't seen it, and you try to reproduce it in your memory. You know.
when you look back at this series, you're kind of seeing the I think you're commenting on the response of the locals in a lot of ways to the people, you know, in the community and that are trying to take advantage of the tourist boom and so on. And you're seeing this kind of thrown together kind of, we see this trend, so let's get on it, you know, kind of, that's what it feels like that you're looking at in some ways. When you look at like a dirty pool like this, how does this fit in the series?
Yeah. You know, what I was really thinking when I was working on this project is that actually the people, let's say, causing a situation like this, as you mentioned, like this dirty pool, or you know, or like the pollution or the violation of the land, you know, the intrusion in the land, all this, let's say, kitsch aesthetic. Actually, the same people are the ones who need to tolerate this situation the rest 8-9 months of the year, because the touristic periods last for 3-4 months. You know, the high season is August, after September. You know, and I always, you know, I was wondering, you know, okay, you know, you do something that you need to suffer the 66% of your lifetime, you know. So that's very, you know, from the sociology side of things, that's really, really interesting, you know.
That's what you're looking at.
And of course, with you as
it's that 66. It's that off season. It's that what becomes of these playgrounds when
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, that makes sense. It makes sense.
Well, would chase. Okay. That's another star beach. Exactly the same point, if you notice, but another year.
Yeah.
You know, I think I have three or four. This photo is from the disco I mentioned, like Paradise. You know, this is the disco Paradise, you know, with statues, and there is an ancient Greek. And that's where I borrowed, or I stole the name of the project, because I saw a pattern. You know, when I was falling on spaces with a name Paradise or Heaven. So
yeah,
which is also very sarcastic and about this one. For this photo, you will allow me just for 1 minute to say, since this project also had the intention to address the violation of you know, on the land, the intrusion on the land. So in this specific location, this has been photographed like 7 years ago, 8 years ago, but last October, a massive storm happened in the fish village and killing 2 people exactly in this place. So this, I would say now, you know, 7-8 years later, something that, let's say, it belongs to the past, somehow it becomes current again. So yeah, for me that was really strong, very strong moment. You know, I have the picture from the media, you know, from the TV show showing the smashed car from the storm, and exactly the same photo. Demonstrating the same. For me, that's really strong. and that's the power of photography as also documenting medium.
Yeah, and the other part to it is they're moving into this place to take advantage of a certain economic situation, but at the exact same time, it can be dangerous because you're intruding further and further and further towards the beach line, and when storms come, you put yourself at risk, and especially if you're living there and you're only living on 33%, you're probably there all the time, So it's fascinating. It's a fascinating connection.
Yeah, they build on a river. They built on a river.
Okay.
And the river, maybe it's not, you cannot see the river for 80, 90, 100 years, but one day the river will come back.
Yeah.
Yeah, nature. Nature takes revenge.
Well, nature doesn't care about us and our plans. Yeah, it just does what it does, and it's a fascinating thing. And then these, this is that image I was talking about with the snack bar. I thought was really interesting. It was striking. It stood out to me. And you turned this into a book.
Correct. So the book was published back in 2017 by Void, which is an independent publication house based in Athens, and also I think one of the top at this moment in independent publishing scene for photo books. Yeah, I collaborated with 3 co-founders, Mr. Stiru, Silvia Sahini, and the amazing designer Ezra Lineo. And we produced this object, which is, it went sold out very quickly. And I find it very. I find the design and the concept very smart. We worked together with 3 people I mentioned on it, and we produced something that let's say I'm quite proud of it. So,
So no one can get a copy of this.
No, unfortunately,
it's completely gone. Now
it's completely gone. I have 3 for my personal. Yeah, I don't think you can find, because maybe I don't know, because several people are still contacting me and the public, and in the publication house for copies. There's still strong interest, even for a photo biennale here now in Thessaloniki that they exhibited. It was one of the selected photo books. I needed to borrow one from the private collection of Ceresis. So I have only 3 copies for my personal archive, and that's it. And the agreement with Void is to not make a reprinting. That's it. Maybe I will publish it again, but in a different format, a different editing, and maybe different concept, and enriched material. Yeah.
I love the concept. I like the it's like a layout. It spreads out. I think it's really, really interesting. Well, that gives me a question here. Did you have an idea for the design, or did you work with the designer and you kind of worked back and forth? How was that?
That's an interesting question. So the design completely belongs to the crew of Void. Joao Lineu is one of the most renowned and respected photo book designers at this moment. So he has worked with Antoine Dagata and Ackerman and many other, great photographers. The concept came naturally. I think, in discussions, I dropped an idea about, I said, why not do something like TripAdvisor in photo book? And then the gals in Void, I think they worked hard and they came up with a complete idea in concept. So the concept and the design belongs to Void, and I feel blessed collaborating with them. Like, I think they digged and revealed new layers of the project. They really
That's awesome.
That's also, I think, the added value, also collaborating with an experienced publication house rather than going for a self-publication. I think they can bring a lot of value on the table.
And it's funny, we're so close to the images that we take and the production of those images that we take. Sometimes the presentation takes a good, talented, I've heard this many times actually from photographers working with a good editor and a good book producer. The other thing is a great curator, someone that also works in a gallery space, and they see your work in space. And that is another thing I hear a lot. So
in the editing of the photos of the book, as I said, always the validation passed through also, with my collaboration with Cosmas, I mentioned in the very beginning. So we reviewed the selected photos, and I think also at the very end, we kicked out some of that. Because as a philosophy, I have, that it's essential for a photographer, the sentimental disconnection from the artwork, from the photos. And you empower a project not only by adding, but also by removing material.
True.
Sometimes it's hard,
this is true. It's very true.
So we removed the several photos,